Hello and welcome to another painting video. Today we're going to be painting an Ironweld Great Cannon. Now this is going to be probably pretty easy. It's mostly dry brushing, it looks like, just to kind of get what we need. And the guys already know how to paint, but also what I have learned is that this color that we're using for our guy, our troops that we did last week, it says express color. I didn't know what that meant, and that's basically because all these things are different names, but it's a contrast paint. So it's kind of weird that we're using a contrast paint over black. I mean, it worked, so yay for us, I guess. But we're gonna start with this gunmetal color. But I don't know, going forward, I don't know if we're gonna be able to paint a whole army with that. And it's like the perfect color too, which is kind of sad. Like, we'll give it a shot. We'll just keep going with it and see what happens. But I don't know is the short answer for this. Is this like, I don't know where it's gonna end up. I don't know where we're gonna be at the end of this project of looking, but yeah, everyone calls them different things. So that's Express Color from Vallejo, I guess. I think it's Quick Shade from, let me see, I have it somewhere. Oh, it's Speed Paint from Army Painter. So it's just, I guess, be aware of those things before you buy or when you're buying so that you know what you need. It worked out for us, which is cool, but I think, I don't know. We're gonna try to keep using it as long as we can to kind of hope for the best there. I think for the shell casings, we're gonna get the tips of the shells with the gunmetal color. So we're just doing dry brushes here to get the bulk of these colors painted. So let's get those. Get that. I was gonna say, I think this is mostly metal, but it's actually, there's a wood bar underneath it, which is kind of weird, but we can get this. That'll work for like our little dry brush here. That. And now for the wood, we're gonna go on to this whole red color. That's what we use for our main woods. We did on the shield last week and like some on the saddle of our main guy. So let's get that. And so let's start hitting all these wood spots. And if we hit the metal at this point, it'll be okay because it'll look like rust, which, I mean, you don't really want rust on a cannon, I guess. But if you've ever built, and this is a like very niche thing, but if you've ever built like a black powder kit, like for a pistol or something, the barrels, if you don't glue them super great, they do rust. And so it could just be that, you know, we didn't, the Free Guild didn't secure it enough because they're in a hurry for the war, that they didn't blue the cannon enough or heat treat it, or, you know, whatever that they would do to keep it from rusting and protect it enough. And we're obviously going over spots that haven't been hit with the metal yet, but those are gonna have to go with a brush for those. Do the same thing here, just get the little wooden shield here that we've got going on. And the front. And since we are using a contrast paint, we do want to leave that kind of bare right now for the contrast paint to go on it to paint it. Okay, so there's our first layer of paint. And I think for our second, we're gonna go into some kind of like a tan color to get over the top of it. So just use US Field Drab to kind of add another layer of color, but this is gonna be like a light dry brush. I think I always say that, but it ends up being heavy, but you know, you just want a little bit of a contrast over this, so kind of just go into the wood here against the grain on the wood to add some color to it. Make sure we're getting like those edges and all that kind of stuff as we're kind of smearing all over this thing. There we go, now it's a little bit lightened and highlighted for us. Now, since this is a contrast paint, like we said, let's go into that first, because that's going to take this iceberg gray. And I guess that accounts for how runny it is. I was shaking it, I was like, why is this so watery? And it's like, oh, because it's, now that I know, now at the end of my life, I know that it's a contrast color. So that's why it's like that. But it does go on pretty good, and I think if I'm putting it on my wet palette like I do, you know, it kind of thickens it up a little bit. So we just gotta put it there and then hope for the best here. And we also have the guys. So the guys are going, the crew, I put them separate. They're gonna be pretty simple. They're mostly just going to be this color. I mean, if you've watched the videos, you've seen how we paint our people so far up to this point. So, you know, we'll probably just put, you know, some tan for this apron and all that kind of stuff. But while we have this color out, I was just like, might as well. I was gonna skip painting these guys for this video, but we'll see how it goes. Definitely, because like they're kind of loose like this, so kind of hard to paint a bit. Let me get the front there. Okay, we'll let that guy kind of chill. And then we got the igniter person as well, which we can take our wood color and make sure we get that taken into the wood here. the tan color and do a bit of the same here, just kind of hitting over the top here, getting those other areas like that. Going into our blue and getting kind of everything else on this guy. It is a little hard to maneuver these dudes. I feel like this is moving a little bit. So we'll let that kind of dry up. You can see how it kind of set on him, and go in and do our second coat. Okay, it's not ready for a second coat yet. You can tell when it starts doing that streak like that, like it's way too much. So now let's take some of that tan that we put down before and get these ropes. We're just kind of lightly brushing over the top of them to get that color on it. Okay, I think that's all the ropes. Okay. Now we can go into that gunmetal that we had. If I know where I put it, I lost it. So we just need more gunmetal to go into this model to get all those spots that are the more detailed spots. So all these like bolt areas and stuff like that, anything that we may have accidentally painted over when we were dry brushing. We want to get all that stuff. We want to get the axle of the tire, the wheel, and get the tread of the wheel as well. These little framing pieces. And they're kind of all in different areas here and there throughout the model. So here, this is just going to help bring those areas out a little bit more. I think this is probably like some type of breech system here, so you want to make that metal as well. And the shakies are coming, so that's cool for us. Now, I think while we're doing this, we're gonna try to decide if we want to add some like bronze kind of couplings to the stuff. I don't think I'm gonna. I don't think it's gonna add a lot. But who knows how I'll feel after all this other stuff is coated. Let me see, you gotta get this guy, the outside of it here. You can get the tray that the shells come in as well. I think we can paint that with this. It's fine. Okay, so it looks like we got most of that. So now we got to get into the shields here. And those are all metal. All metal all the time. So let's just get that and then get these like joints as well. Okay, now to the front. Do the same thing here. Make sure we get the tire. Get these like, all of these flanges and hooks and pieces. We'll just follow the lines here. Our skulls are silver, so we'll leave that. I mean, our skulls are gold, so we'll not touch that for now. Let me see, we can probably get in with a smaller brush to do those, so ignoring those rivets for now. Getting this all painted. And we get those like little drag chains underneath, as well as the tire there. Wheel. It's not a tire, I guess. Now we'll switch to a smaller brush to get all those like little rivets and doodads on the front here. So just get a good amount on your brush and just tap the point to the areas. Now we can get that US field drab that we did in the beginning. We're gonna bring that into the pennants and stuff that are on the front of the cannon here. This will just be our base coat for these. And then I'm gonna do, no, okay, we're good. Now, we can take that US field drab, and we're gonna bring it into his apron thing here. Switch to our smaller brush just for the straps here. Now, if you wanted to, you could be like, hey, these guys are loading cannons all day. They'd be pretty smoky and dirty, so you can leave it just with one coat if you want to. We're not gonna do that. I think we're gonna do a couple coats still of everything. So it's just while we have the colors, we're just working with the colors that we have, bringing them in to the rest of the models. So now let's get back to that iceberg gray for these guys, because they definitely need another coat. And then just be careful around those areas that have other paint on it right now. And then while we're here, since he has like a wooden hammer, where did I get that hammer? Because we missed it when we did the woods. And we'll get that tan and kind of wet blend it in to the wood there. Get back on him. Make sure we're getting good coverage on over black. So you'll need, that's why we needed a couple coats of this, so that it's a contrast paint. But apparently it works over black, so it's busting the myths I knew about contrast paint, is that it had to be over white or gray. But I've noticed these other ones, like these other brands like Vallejo and Army Painter, their stuff's a little bit thicker and it goes on a little different than the Games Workshop stuff. Let's do that, and then let's go into the metallic here because we didn't even paint that when we were there. So I'm not really even cleaning my brush between colors here. I'm just putting it on, and if it has some of that other color in it, I'm okay with that. Since these guys are pretty small on the model, like they're kind of hidden in there, so I'm not as worried as their stuff coming through, or any colors that come through. I mean, I guess I can get his helmet since we're doing the... I haven't done his face yet, or the other guys either, but this is where we are right now, so just bringing it in. Probably for the sword, no. Probably for like this will make it silver. Let's do that. And then for this guy, sorry if he's out of focus. I'm just trying to get a good hold on them as I paint them. Oops, got his face a little bit there. And then for these, we decided on doing the edges of the gun here, of the projectile. And then let's get his tools painted there. Okay. So now let's go into leather brown. And this is going to be the main coat for our shoes. Sorry, I hit the camera. There we go. So this is going to be, okay, this is where it's gonna get a little weird. So this is gonna be the boots and the gloves. So these are like the spats that they have. That might actually be like a metal plate, but for now, since we don't know what it is, we'll just go over with the brown. And then we'll go in to the gloves. And then we also get the belt pouches and everything. There's that. Set him there. Get this one. Get the gloves on this guy. And then we get his boots. Rotate it around here. Okay. let's go to this. Let's get our gold on. Our brassy brass is what we use for gold. And this color, we're going to be putting on the casings of the shells. Like that. Get the one in here. I want to get like the ring that this is, like that they lower this in with to be bronze as well. Just gotta add some variations here. Probably like maybe this gear. The skulls are gold. And then like this front thing. Dragon or whatever, I don't know what that is, but it's freaky looking. And then maybe like the pin that holds the wheel in place will be there. Okay. We gotta go to these guys and get the casing here. And we get the top of the steel helm here. And then for this guy, I'm gonna get that belt buckle. Probably like the handle of his little sword here. The body of this powder horn or something, I don't really know what it is, but powder horn maybe makes sense. Get the steel helm here. And then we want to get the little dragon on the top here. Gargoyle, I don't know what that is. Oh, and then I think like this whole stick is going to be bronze as well. The whole giant match that he has. And then I'm noticing that I didn't get his glove on the top here, so let's just get the brown while we can. And then if you remember, the bottom of their shoes are this whole red color. So we'll just kind of quickly get those painted in. Like again, you're not going to really be able to see these because they're pretty low in the model. While I'm here, we're going to grab some more of this to get our second coat on here. So that this doesn't look as bad. It would be dirty, but we can make it less dirty. Back onto this guy, get our whole red here. Get those shoes. That deep red leather color. Okay, so now let's go into fur brown for their faces, because their faces need to be touched. Make sure it's thin here. That's for one coat. And that's one coat there. Oh, probably out of screen there, but just getting like a quick base coat on there to let it dry. I think that's going to be it for the cannon part. Oh, nope. We need our ghost gray to go in for the tree that goes on the front. There's our tree. And this is going to require washing. So, but also we can take that ghost gray that we have down and put it into the smoke here. And then we'll take some of that iceberg blue that we have and also put it in here, because this is a smoke that's billowing from an explosion. It would be dark and maybe go to light. So let's just get some of those dark colors that we have on our palette in here. And then make sure we fix over the actual guy there. And we have like this like match line that goes down the model. Okay, now our first coat of brown should be dry on their faces. So we're going to go in again with another coat. Okay. we can take our barbarian flesh color, and that's what we're going to use as the second part of their skin. Thin that out. It's pretty dry, so it should dry. The model should be drying pretty quickly here because it's pretty dry in my area. Your mileage may vary, or you also may not care, so let's just try to get on the face here. And same thing here, just make sure it's thin. Okay. And then at this point, everything is mostly done. So let's glue these dudes down. So let's get some super glue and put them where we need them so that we can begin the final stage of the whole thing. Just get that there. So for this, it goes in here, and then his feet touch the ground there. It's super glue, so it dries really fast, so we don't have to worry about stuff. And now we can begin our washing. We're gonna start off with, I should probably throw this one away, honestly. I have Nuln oil somewhere. There's a new bottle of Nuln oil. Is it here? Nope. Where are you? I bought it for my project with my Tyranids, but we ended up not having to use it, so I put it somewhere safe. You know how that goes. When you put stuff somewhere safe, you lose it. Well, I think we can probably go with what we have right here first, and I can find it some other time. But so Nuln oil, we only have a little bit in here. So let's hope for the best. Let's get our brush nice and covered here. And we're gonna go over not a whole lot because it doesn't look super great because it's pretty much empty. Agrax Earthshade. Where are you? Where are you? I know this is riveting content for you guys. This is me finding paint. Got purples, got all sorts of colors, but I can't find. There's a bunch of yellows, some blues. Where would I even put that? Where would it be somewhere else? That's Astro Granite. This is also Astro Granite basing material. The hell are you? You're more Astro Granite. You're Wildwood contrast paint. This is a real bummer. Let's stand up and look really quick. Did I put stuff under there? I did not. Okay, well, I'll definitely have to order some more after this. But for now, we'll go over the metallics, because that's what needs to be hit with the metal, with the black. So even the smoke there, it needs to be hit as well. Get the chains. The shells down here. And the people really need to get it, but dang. Kind of caught out here without paint that I need. And I don't know where it could be. I mean, we have Black Templar contrast paint, but I don't know if I want to tank it that bad. Might have to wait till I get more paint to do this. I mean, to finish the people at least. But we can get all the metallics and stuff up here. And then we can get their helmets, at least. Okay, so I need to get some normal oil. And then we'll go into our brown wash, our Agrax Earthshade. Watch me find it like right after this, filming this. And we're gonna get pretty much everything else, like all the wood, all the nooks and crannies in here, the ropes. This is gonna really grunge up the model for us. Like I said, I was trying to go for like a not dark fantasy, like grimdark style for these guys. But I don't want to use oil washes, so this is me attempting it without oil washes first, before going into that kind of steps for future jobs, you know, for future work. If this works out though, I don't have to, so let's just get it all nice and coated on everybody, and then make sure it's not pooling anywhere, and pull it off where we can. So just get that all over there. Get this coated here and there. Get our little fireman here. And then we'll kind of poke back through this model, make sure there's no weird pooling of paint in places. So just wiping it off, dabbing our brush off here. As if we see it kind of being too much in areas, we can move it around to other areas as well. Cool. We got some on here, so let's just clean that off. And then lastly, we're gonna take our Reichland Flesh Shade Wash and get that on the faces. Of our troopers here. And we don't need to do their eyes because they are in it. So that is how we paint our Ironweld Great Cannon for the spearhead of Cities of Sigmar. As always, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.